What up? This is Cozy Womb. Welcome back. Welcome to. We are discussing. No one purposely wants to be a single parent, let alone, for my sake, a single mother. But it happens to the best of us. I just think it's very funny when people say, so you just dying out here to be a single mom. No, I'm not dying to be a single mom, but I know what it is to live in a household where the mother is the only parent, and I know what it is to be in a household where my mother and father are there, but it still feels like the only parent because both people have a different way of being involved when it comes to parenting. Nobody discussed it prior to. It's just, this is what it is. We're not trying to make it better. We're not trying to fix it. We'll just deal. And at the end of the day, the person that's affected the most by two parents who do not agree on how to raise a child is that child. So, hey, I am a product of single momness, and I am a product of both parents in the household, but not having balance. Either way, now, I think it's more beneficial to have one parent with greater values and a better consistent idea when it comes to responsibilities of a child than having both parents in the household and one not doing their part, not contributing, and not positively being a great example to my children. So, for my first child, who's 4, Anya, when me and her father got together, I mentally, physically, emotionally was done with putting efforts in relationships. And I was just like, you know what? I said around 26, 27, I would want to have my first kid because I have a mother that's always been sickly. All of my brothers are older. All of my brothers already have kids. Sometimes, I think at the time, 2 each. And I was like, I'm the last one. I already graduated college. I'm already working in New York like I said I was going to do. And the relationship that I was in at the time I thought was going to be on some longevity shit, and it just went to shit out the blue. And I was like, okay, cool. So if that's not happening, do you really think I'm about to invest 3-4 plus years into someone again? Which is going to push me back on when I want to go ahead and have a first child that my mom could go ahead and enjoy, and they could go ahead and enjoy my mom as a great grandmother because my mom is a great mother. Also, at the time that I was making this decision, I lost my grandfather, my mother's dad, to I want to say illness. I want to say him not being able to get better from a bad car accident he was involved in Philadelphia, and it was just his time, and he passed away in January. We had the funeral, and I was just like in like a negative space, making fast decisions, and I just entertained Anya's dad at the time. I knew him, I want to say 2 years prior to, so it wasn't like he was brand new to me, and I knew he liked me more than I liked him. So it wasn't like, oh, this is going to be difficult or this is going to be hard to entertain. It was easy. And I entertained it. And I entertained it to a point where I'm not saying I was purposely trying to have a kid, but I wasn't doing anything to prevent me having a kid either, because I wasn't seeing anyone longevity-wise as far as a relationship to do that with anyway. So I was just like, fuck it. So here. I find out I'm pregnant. I want to say what? End of February, March. And I tell him, I didn't feel like, oh my God. It was none of that. I tell him, and I was like, hey, just keep this in between us until I'm at least 13 weeks, because it could always be, oh, it's no more. You know what I'm saying? Men, if a woman tells you to keep your mouth shut about someone peeing on a stick about a baby, you keep your mouth shut. Hence, he couldn't keep his mouth shut, but hey, whatever. That's done. So I told him, I was like, you know what? I know I wasn't currently working at the time because my apartment in New York was had water damage from the guy upstairs who was running the bathtub water. So I had to put all my stuff in storage. I wasn't working at the time. I was at my cousin's house in Philly on unemployment or whatever, looking for work. And I was like, you know what, I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to be right now. But at the same time, this child didn't ask to be here. So you're in school and you're working. So just keep doing that. But I'm going to have to need you to be consistent if you want to be involved in his or her life. But there's no halfway. There's no you 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Like, I'm not about to do it. If you're here and you're involved in this, great. If you're not, she or he is still going to be taken care of. And he was like, cool. In his mind, I think he had it where he felt like we were a for sure thing. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to put up with his BS. In my mind, I was like, my G, you on a clock. And if I don't see you consistently being responsible and preparing for this, I am out. And that is what I did. I had my first appointment. We heard her heartbeat. He was there. He cried a little. Cool. We got to the realization that this shit is actually happening. He stopped working and he didn't register for his next set of classes for his next semester because he had to pay a fee. I'm just like, okay, you cool not working and you're not about to go to school? Cool. I'm a dip. I'm going to save up my money. I'm going to prepare for this kid, and I'm leaving New York and I'm going to Florida to be around my mom, because my mom had 5 kids, so who's better to be around for your first kid? My mother. So I went and I stayed with my mom in West Palm Beach, and I had Anya, my daughter, my first daughter, and he wasn't there. Was I expecting him to be there? No, because he was just showing a lot of signs the whole time of not really caring, not being very responsible, and being very bitter because I quote unquote left him. But what predicament would it be for me as a new parent to be in New York at my friend's house while you are in Philly, not working, not being responsible, not saving and preparing for a kid, and just sitting there when I could be somewhere better, which is at my mom's. So I had Anya. He wasn't there. I never sent him any pictures, nothing on purpose, because you weren't preparing for her, you weren't being responsible, and you didn't think it was very important to be here, so therefore you will wait to see her in person. Your first time seeing your child will not be by photo. You tried it. So I had her, a week after I had her, I said, hey, to my mom, I'm moving back to Atlanta. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to get a house. Do you want to come or do you want to stay? She was in a kind of like shitty predicament there. how she was living, and I would rather her be with me than her be there and me have to worry about her. So she decided to come. So came back to Atlanta, where I went to college at, and I was staying with a friend, and I got 2 jobs. I want to say within 7 to 9 months, I got my first house I was renting, and then something happened with that where I got another house that I was renting, and I worked 2 jobs. Still at that time, he wasn't consistently doing anything for Anya. He would come probably the first year of Anya being born and being here. He probably saw her about 6 times off and on. Nothing consistent. When I saw that he wasn't, doing things for her consistently, I was like, well, hey, I'm going to chill, see if you get the hang of it. You're not getting the hang of it. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. I'm putting you on child support. Put him on child support. He went down to the courthouse and gave all his paperwork or whatever. Said that he doesn't need a paternity test and signed off on it. He signed off on it, and Anya is 4 years old, and he has never paid it. He has never given me any type of funds for Anya. He has never consistently seen Anya like a full week straight since Anya's been born. But he loves to pop up while I'll be working and my mom would be home with Anya to take pictures of Anya, to look at Anya, but never bring anything for Anya, never take Anya anywhere, never really spend time with her on a consistent basis. And my mom was very gullible and allowed it. And then I just got to a point where I saw that Anya was thinking and asking questions, and I just did not want her to see that I'm accepting a man who is supposed to be her father doing less than he can. I did not want her to see that I'm accepting a man who is supposed to be her father not doing his best, and allowing that to be an example of what a father is or what her father is. So here I am. She's 4 years old, and I stopped the FaceTiming. I stopped the Skype. He's not allowed to call my phone because when I talk to him, it turns into an argument where it shouldn't be an argument. The facts are, you do nothing for Anya emotionally, physically. You don't see her on a consistent basis. If you do come to Atlanta, you'll be here for a whole week and give her 30 minutes of your time for one of those days when you want to pop up. And that's not fair. If I didn't see my child on a consistent basis and I was in a state that she was or a city that she was, I'm seeing her every day. Everything else becomes secondary, and because she's 4 and that's still not priority for him, and he has another child too. She's around 2, I think, but she lives in the same city he does. It sucks, and it more so sucks on his part because Anya is an amazing kid, a very happy kid, beautiful, funny. And he missed out on her walking. He's never been around for her first birthday. He's never been around for Christmas. He's never given her a gift, never called her on her birthday. And their birthdays are 3 days apart. So to me, it's very off when it comes to Anya's father versus my second kid's father. Because it's a complete difference. My 1-year-old's father is very involved. We are not together either. But I just know that when it comes to Anya's father, he will grow up one day and he will want to get his shit together. And I just hope at that time and point, whenever that does happen, the damage that he has put on his relationship with Anya and responsibility wise is not so far gone that they can't have that. I want them to have that. Like, there's nothing that I'm asking for Anya's father to do to put him in a bad position. Like, I want him to stand on his own too. I want him to be able to come to a city where Anya is and be responsible enough to be there by himself and not, coming because my friend is here. Come because your child is here. Schedule something to do with your child while you're here and have that time with your child. Like, I don't understand why is that so hard. But primarily right now, I do everything for Anya by myself. I pay for her daycare. I pay for her food. I pay for her health care. I'm going to start paying for her to go to pre-K. I buy all her clothes. I buy everything that comes with taking care of Anya to the full extent. And he doesn't contribute to anything. I think the last time he talked to Anya was on this past Father's Day. He took advantage of the time that Anya was at my mom's in Florida and called her on Father's Day. And Anya told him verbatim, I don't want to talk to you. I'm angry because you don't see me. Now, that's between him and Anya. But at the same time, she's very honest and she's very upfront with him about why she didn't want to talk to him. But at the same time, he has the power to fix that. And the only way he's going to fix that is when he's consistently, both of his feet is in when it comes to being a father to Anya. And that's the only way I'll accept it. And that's the first and primarily the number one way he should present himself to his child. All the way, no halfway. So when it comes to my 1-year-old, Ari, shit is completely different. And I'll tell you how that's different. Alright, I am a firm believer that you cannot parent through a phone. You cannot parent through FaceTime. You definitely can't parent through seeing a child once a year, if that. So, with, my 1-year-old's dad, with Ari, instead, I don't feel like a single parent, because he actually has days shared with me where he has Ari at his house. He has a 13-year-old daughter, and he lives with his girlfriend, and she has a 17-year-old son. So, their kids are grown, so it's a completely different dynamic from my house, because I'm the adult in here. I'm the one that has to do everything. I can't ask someone to help me wash this or sit in the house while I go get this. I'll be right back. Or I can't do none of that. When I come in, everybody has to come in. When I leave, everybody has to leave. So it's a different dynamic. And I don't have anyone in here helping me or going half on any bills or anything like that. So it's completely different. My work schedule is crazy, working both jobs. I leave very early and I come home very late. So, of course, their sleep schedule is completely different from when he has Ari, which irritates him sometimes. But shit, hey, my life is different from yours. You got to deal. But as far as like sharing responsibilities, we do that. So he has her certain amount of days during the week. I have her certain amount of days during the week. I buy her food and diapers. He buys her food and diapers. I buy her clothes. He buys her clothes. His mom buys her clothes. My friends, my family buy her clothes. As far as her having a bed in a room, she has a bed in a room in my house. He has a bed in a room for her at his house. So toys, all of that. Like, everything shared. Do we have the best relationship as co-parents? Sometimes, no, not really. But that's only if the communication is lacking and assumptions are made. But as far as like sharing responsibility wise, we do that. As far as like child support, there's no reason for me to put him on child support per se. Does he help me out financially with Ari? Sometimes, nothing like consistently where I know for sure this is going to be the amount. This day is absolutely going to be here at this time. No. But, if it comes down to Ari needing something, Ari's never gone without. As it comes down to me needing him to get Ari because my schedule is this on some holiday and it's not something expected, he makes a way, or I make a way. But I feel like we do share the responsibility when it comes to Ari. And I appreciate that. So I don't really feel by myself when it comes to Ari. And before there was an Ari, like I've said before, he's been like consistently involved in Anya's life and been around Anya since she's been 3 months on some consistent shit. So, for Ari and us, it was kind of like, oh, we got to do the same thing with her too. So it was nothing new. I don't have to really like push him to spend time with Ari. I don't have to push him to say certain things to Ari or whatever because he's not married. And I'm not in a relationship and I'm not married. There's no need for me to teach Ari to say stepmom or whatever on any mom level other than me. For him, there's no reason for him to have a name for somebody I'm with or I'm in a relationship with because I'm, one, not in a relationship. Two, if I was, there is still no stepdad figure in our kids' lives, so I don't have to deal with that. But they're completely different when it comes to my 4-year-old's dad and my 1-year-old's dad. Responsibility is completely different. Do I feel like both of them can be better as fathers? Of course. We can all be better. Do I feel like one is slacking more than the other? Hell yeah. Anya's dad been slacking since day one. But you know what? Like I said, he's going to learn. But as far as like being a single mom, that is nothing that I was like, hey, that's my quest. That's what I'm out to do. It's not nothing like that. But I just feel like he can be a good example for both of the girls. Ari's dad. And when it comes to him teaching them the right way to do something or not to say something or how to sit or what not to do around people they don't know, I trust him on that. He spends quality time with the girls. I trust him with that. As far as like what they eat and paying attention to certain things they need, I trust him on that. Doctor's appointments, if I can't do it, have I told him in advance that Ari has a doctor's appointment? Yes. Has he shown up? Multiple times. So there's a difference between the fathers I have for my kids. I don't regret any of it. I just know being a parent is a consistent learning process. But there's a big difference between how I feel as a mother and about their fathers when it comes to is it being shared. But my girls are comfortable. I'm okay with his home being safe for Ari. As far as Anya, my 4-year-old, feeling a void because she knows Ari's dad is consistently doing for Ari, and Ari's dad comes at such and such mornings and drops off Ari or picks her up. And she doesn't see her dad or someone that looks like her doing that. I'm just very observant, and I watch her. I might ask him if he can go do something with both of them, so Anya doesn't feel like a lack in something being done for her. Whenever it's like her birthday or Christmas or whatever's going on, he always makes sure Anya has something and she doesn't feel left out, which I really appreciate. My friends always make sure Anya has something and doesn't feel left out. So, as far as Anya feeling the void with her father not being around, my position as her mother is to make sure I can fill in those gaps as much as possible, but nobody can be her dad except for her dad. But her dad cannot be her dad until he wants to be a father. Like a father who actually dedicates himself to his child's well-being. And I can't make him do that. That's a choice. Being a great father, whether you had one or you didn't have one, is a decision you make. It's easier to not do something you're supposed to do than actually work hard to figure out how to do something you should do. So I feel like right now he's still taking a cop-out when it comes to being Anya's father. But to everybody else on Facebook or social media, he loves to brag about Anya, but he has no recent pictures of Anya. I don't know what kind of friends he has, because I don't know what kind of friends you have when your friends have kids and they take care of their kids and they're involved in their kids' lives, and then your friend, quote unquote, understands that you have children or a child that you haven't seen in over a year or so. You don't spend time with them. You don't, help them financially. You're not there for them emotionally. They have no relationship with you. But y'all cool, y'all boys. To me, if any of my friends have kids, and I know they have kids, and I know that they're not consistently taking care of their kid, I don't know how well I can trust you as a man, as a friend. Because if you ain't got your own blood, position in life and making sure they're good, then how you gonna be a great person for me? And that's character. That's in your personality. That's built in. And nobody can teach him that if he's not open to learning that there's a better way. And I know he knows that there's a better way. It's just easier for him not to do it, because there's a way out. And I'm not into giving no men or a man that is fully capable of being his greatest self slack so he could be lazy. So, I don't know. Being the type of mother I am, it's a lot of work, but I just make sure my children are very happy. I make sure they're well taken care of. I make sure they have everything that they need. I make sure they don't have to need for anything, because as their mother, I'm always here to protect, provide, and prove to them that they are worth every ounce of my being. Okay? The 3 P's. Prove, protect, and provide. That is a mom. I love being a mom. But nobody really sets out to be a single mother. It's better not to have a male in the household that's disrespecting you, disrespecting your child, mistreating you, or not doing what he needs to do as a man, as a father. And you just be the best mother you could be and hope that father wakes up one day and, plays his position. And if he doesn't wake up one day and play his position, just make sure that your kids have a good, example of what a father is in their life, whether it's a grandfather, whether it's someone else's father, whether it's an uncle. My uncle, and I want to say one of my brothers, became the best father figure examples I've had in my life. And I lost my uncle months before I had Ari, and that was hard for me, and that felt like I lost a father at that time because he was so honest and so blunt and very imperfect, but always giving experience and advice on how to handle people, how to handle shit. And I really enjoyed talking with him and sharing those experiences because they helped raise me and they gave me wisdom, and I understand life a lot better because of it. So your father figures in life are not always going to be your actual paternity fathers. And maybe someone else. Find a mentor. But my God, if you're a man and you have children out here in this world, figure it out. Because it's a selfish thing to wake up every morning knowing you're capable of being better, and you won't even be better for yourself, let alone your children that didn't ask to be here. That's all I have to say about not really wanting or striving to be a single mother. That is something that just happens far too often. And a lot of single mothers are single mothers because of life. Whether it's that man that's deceased, murdered, incarcerated, or missing, or an illegal that cannot come to the country that they live in, and they're separated by the force of opportunity, where they want to give their child an opportunity that's better versus them all being together struggling. I mean, there's lots of reasons why women are single parents in today's world, and we can't just look at it through one window, one perspective. We have to think about it all the way around. But I just wish people would think before they say certain shit. And not everybody is out here striving to be a single mother. And those mothers who know that there are fathers that are dying to have relationships with their kids and pay child support and want to see their children, but for whatever reason, because you can't be with them or you can't be in that relationship, you use their child as a pawn. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop. Just stop. Like, I wish, as much as Anya's father fronts about seeing her or wanting to be around her, that he actually put that effort into being there for her. But that's not the case. And because she's older and she understands consistency and tomorrow, and I don't want him, lying to her about what he's going to do and not do it, because he has done that before. I really make sure he's sure about what he's going to do, and he does it, and I don't leave windows for her to be lied to. And that's my job as a mother, is to think about her overall well-being and how she's going to take something. So single mothers out here, I get it. I feel you. It's hard, but we do it. And I promise you, it's going to be super rewarding. When them kids grow up, it's going to be so rewarding. I mean, it's rewarding for me now, where I can actually see her sleep in peace, wake up and have joy and just laugh, and just see her comfortable in her clothes, in her home, in her car, wherever. I'm comfortable in my mind because I know she's safe, and I know she's actually very happy. And I'm very observant of when she isn't happy and when she's sad. And I mean, she's born in November. She's hella sensitive. So just be observant of your kids, and if you feel like your kid is misbehaving or acting out because they miss a certain person that should be in their life that's not, let them talk to somebody, get them some help. If it ever gets to the point where I feel like Anya needs to talk to somebody because the void of her father not being a father to her is too big, I'm going to get her some help. Like, don't act like that's something that's not going to affect the child. It is going to affect the child. But you always, as a parent, have to think in the best interest of your child. It's not about being bitter. It's not about being mad at the other parent. It's not about pride or ego. It's about right way to parent and a wrong way to parent. All right? That is Shan. Thank you for listening to Cozy Womb. You guys be great. I gotta go. Deuces.
What's so special about Hero Bread's soft, fluffy, and delicious breads, buns, and tortillas? These ultra-low net-carb baked goods contain zero sugar, fewer calories, and more protein than the leading brands, and are high in fiber to support gut health. Shop now at hero.co.